All right, I want to recommend a book to you. You probably heard of it before, maybe you have. It's called Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud. Boundaries are cool, we need boundaries in our life. They sound restrictive, don't they? Oh gosh, I got these boundaries around me, it confines me, it restricts me, it limits me. Not really. We actually impose boundaries upon ourselves by making wrong decisions which further constrict and suffocate us, in fact, take the life out of us. Good, healthy boundaries are necessary, not bad boundaries, good boundaries, boundaries that are proactive. I say this to you, what decisions do you need to make now that will already be made when you get into the heat of a moment? What financial decisions would not be made and financial mistakes not made had they been determined earlier on before you got into a tempting situation? What sexual decisions, if you made those decisions now, would become healthy boundaries to keep you out of trouble at midnight when you've had a few beers on a Friday night that ends up in a pregnancy and a subsequent abortion? You think I'm exaggerating? I deal with this on a daily basis. What boundaries are necessary decisions and choices can we make now in advance of what we know is inevitably coming our way in the form of disorder, temptation, and need-based decision-making? Boundaries can be very protective. I'm going to talk in another video about hurt and abuse in sexual context, but for now, suffice to say, women, listen to me now, boundaries that are set now will spare you a lot of grief and pain in the terms of emotional and physical pain, date rape, unwanted sex, and rape itself. I'm not placing fault on you for these things, but there are contexts and situations that good boundaries to begin with would keep us out of where those types of things happen. And they do happen, and they're incredibly painful and long-lasting. Show me your playgrounds and your playmates, and I'll show you your future. Who is it that we are finding ourselves in the context with? Who are we dating? Who are we spending time with? Who are we sharing our heart with? Look at the quality of the individuals that we're giving ourselves away to, and in and among them is the potential for hurt and pain and abuse. There are a lot of emotional and physical safety issues that could be avoided had we made good, proactive boundaries up front. Not boundaries on your own, but boundaries in the context of someone else who knows you, who cares for you, who mentors you, who invests in you, and holds you accountable. I think maybe sometimes in the absence of boundaries, we need to think about something called a revolution. Maybe your life is in need of a little bit of order and boundaries and decision-making now, not in the heat of the moment. Let's think about a revolution. I'll tell you, one of the greatest revolutionaries of all time was Christ himself. Turned the world upside down and gave us loving boundaries in which to enjoy life. If I asked you to fill out a resume right now of some of the things you've done in your life, and I read it and I handed it back to you, and I said, would you hire yourself to run your life? What would your answer be? If your answer is no, then you need someone to help you. And that person is Christ. He wants to be the Lord of your life. The Lord, not a restrictive, confining, suffocating Lord, but one who liberates you and sets you free and allows you to play and enjoy life in the healthy, appropriate context, sexually, emotionally, physically, academically, psychologically, in every way, in every lee there is. Christ has come to set you free, and he'll do that by giving you healthy boundaries. Both good and bad exist in life. He has for you the good ones.